VoiceAmericaNewsBangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, a tragic ending in the search for a missing teenager from Orono. We'll have the latest coming up.
Plus, a group of candidates vying to be Maine's next governor held a forum to discuss the future of Maine's healthcare system.
And ice jams continue to be a concern this week, especially for residents in the Maxfield area. We'll have that story too. Sorry.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us. It's Thursday morning. We're almost to the end of the week. We're all wide awake this morning, ready to go. Yes.
I'll try to get into it. For some reason, I'm like so sleepy this morning.
I hear you. And I've been annoying her for the last hour and a half or so because we're ready.
We're ready.
Not really.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. All the day's news coming up. But first, to check that forecast, looking like a cloudy day ahead.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Thursday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience a Quality Automotive difference. Reliable service and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment. 922-2043. Alrighty, here we go. We have some clouds that are passing through this morning. Otherwise, looking pretty quiet. It's going to be a quiet day for us, but we will be watching for more snow that will be on the way for us coming up later on tonight. As we do zoom things out, not a whole lot going on, a little bit of snow developing further off towards the west. Our next wave of energy will be further off towards the north and west. So as we check out Futurecast, we will have clouds developing. Futurecast trying to show a little bit of snow, but we will be under a mostly cloudy sky for us today. And there's that next wave of energy further off towards the north and west that will be passing through for us later on tonight, clearing out as we head towards your Friday. As for the wind, we'll have some gusty winds up to around 25 miles per hour, and that will be backing off later on tonight, but picking up again as we head towards your Friday, backing off for a little bit during the afternoon. Your hourly forecast moving forward. Again, some clouds out there with temperatures warming into the 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
All right, thank you, Devin. We'll see you later on. Well, it was a sad ending in the search for a missing 19-year-old man from Orono. Chance Lauer had been missing from his Orono apartment since January 20th, and his body was found Tuesday in a retention pond near his home. Our Callie Warren has more.
A sobering moment for the Orono and University of Maine community. Months of searching for 19-year-old Chance Lauer has ended in the way that nobody wanted. Chance Lauer was last seen in late January. He had no vehicle and his phone and wallet weren't with him when he disappeared. Lauer was known to frequent a walking trail near a retention pond close to his apartment at Orchard Trails in Orono. His remains were found in that pond by a passerby on Tuesday. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has positively identified his remains. An autopsy is pending, but police say his death does not appear to be suspicious. An individual who identified themselves as a family member of Lauer took to Facebook to say, quote, "He was recovered from a pond near his Orono apartment yesterday afternoon. He went out for a walk 8 weeks ago and fell through the ice," end quote. Down East Emergency Medicine Institute, or DEME, says multiple searches have been held in hopes of locating Lauer in the weeks since he went missing, including near that very pond.
Yeah, and some indications that he should be here. There's not anything missing that would indicate that he was far away, so he should be right here.
That was DEME Medical Director Robert Bowie in January, talking about the search at the apartment complex. Wednesday, Bowie released a statement to us saying in part, quote, "DEME has been continuously searching for Chance Lauer since he went missing in January. The pond has been an area of interest since the beginning, as apartment employee interviews indicated it as an area he would frequent," end quote. The Maine Warden Service was also involved in the search for Lauer, and according to DEME, a challenge in this search was the winter weather. It is not known exactly when Lauer passed away or what his cause of death was. As of now, we've been told that the results of his autopsy could take up to 8 weeks to come back. In studio, I'm Callie Warren for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news this morning, Maine State Police have arrested a Skowhegan man in connection with a deadly shooting last month in Augusta. According to spokesperson Shannon Moss, 30-year-old Edward Longley was apprehended in Skowhegan and charged with murder and elevated aggravated assault in connection with the shooting on Flag Street in Augusta on February 2nd. 51-year-old Billy Jack Curtis of Augusta died from his injuries he sustained in that shooting. His manner of death was ruled a homicide. 40-year-old Sherry Gilly of Brunswick was also injured in that incident. She is currently recovering from her injuries. Longley is being held at the Somerset County Jail without bail.
Rockland police arrested 3 people after getting a complaint about suspected drug use at a local subsidized housing unit for the elderly and for those with disabilities. 43-year-old Mark Gagney is charged with felony possession of drugs and a probation violation. He was just released from custody days before on charges including drug trafficking and abuse of a corpse for allegedly burning the body of a man who had been shot to death. 29-year-old Michaela Batty is charged with several counts of unlawful possession of drugs and violation of conditions of release. She was out on several sets of pre-conviction bail conditions at the time of her arrest. And 30-year-old Tiana Brancella of Warren is charged with aggravated drug trafficking and violation of conditions of release. Brancella was also out on bail at the time of her arrest. And during the investigation, police say officers seized over 50 grams of fentanyl as well as methamphetamine.
Meanwhile, the State Fire Marshal's office is investigating a fire in Waterville and issuing an important reminder to the public. Investigators responded to 3 Aubrey Street in Waterville on Tuesday morning at around 10:30 after being called by the Waterville Fire Department. The fire was contained to the enclosed porch of the residence, which sustained heavy damage. Investigators concluded it started due to improper disposal of oil-based staining rags that were placed in a trash bag. The Fire Marshal's office is reminding the public about being diligent when disposing of those types of materials. They say when confined, staining rags can spontaneously combust and cause a fire. The rags should be disposed of safely outside the residence or garage. They should also be submerged in a bucket of water or laid out flat to dry on a non-combustible surface, such as dirt or a paved driveway.
A building full of potatoes was destroyed by fire in northern Maine. It was just before 2 o'clock Wednesday morning when firefighters were called to a large fire threatening a potato storage building on Route 1 in Limestone. By the time the scene was cleared 2 hours later, the fire had already destroyed the potato house and a small amount of potatoes. Fortunately, no injuries are reported. The owners suspect a problem with the heating system started that fire. The State Fire Marshal's office is now looking for an official cause.
Senator Susan Collins is speaking out on the prolonged partial government shutdown affecting the Department of Homeland Security. She put the decision to shut down the government squarely on the shoulders of Democrats, who she says walked away from a bipartisan DHS funding bill and blocked other efforts to pass a short-term solution. She said in part, quote, "The White House made a good faith offer last month that builds on the reforms included in the bipartisan funding bill negotiated earlier this year, with new safeguards to protect both the American public and law enforcement and increased oversight. Democrats waited 18 days to respond. It is time for Democrats to get serious and work with us earnest to govern responsibly."
The Maine Senate has voted unanimously to pass emergency legislation to support Maine's public defense services. The Maine Commission on Public Defense Services announced last week that they had reached a critical funding level, potentially jeopardizing the state's obligation to provide attorneys to criminal defendants who can't afford one on their own. LD 2059 provides an immediate one-time funding allotment of $13 million to address the budget shortfall and ensure the services are not interrupted. According to the bill's sponsor, Senator Ann Carney, the funding will support attorney pay and retention through the fourth quarter of this fiscal year.
It addresses the urgency of the situation and reassures those assigned counsel who are participating in the public defense system that we know them, we know that their work is really important to our system here in Maine, and we are here to take care of them and make sure that they are compensated for their good work.
The bill was removed from the Senate's special appropriations table following a unanimous vote of approval by the Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee. It will now head directly to the governor's desk. The governor has 10 days to sign the bill, veto it, or she can allow it to go into law without her signature.
Penobscot and Piscataquis County District Attorney Christopher Almney says he will not run for re-election again. Almney first took the position in 1985 and served until 2018. Then he reassumed the role of DA in 2022. He's tried numerous criminal cases in the state and says he will continue as an attorney. He just won't hold the title of DA. He is endorsing current ADA Chelsea Lins to be the next district attorney for Penobscot and Piscataquis County.
With issues like health care taking center stage this election cycle, the Maine Primary Care Association held a gubernatorial candidate forum in Augusta yesterday to discuss the future of Maine's health care system. Our Grace Blanchard was there and has the story.
A group of bipartisan gubernatorial candidates fielded questions from the community and healthcare workers on how they intend to strengthen healthcare in Maine. A central theme of the candidate forum was strategies for mitigating healthcare workforce shortages and incentivizing primary care recruitment.
I think in order to attract more provider capacity of all types into Maine, we should stop making Maine a no-fly zone for innovative healthcare providers.
We really have to work on the rural communities and make it attractive for folks to, invest there and make their lives there.
I think the best thing that we can do to build a strong workforce is to do a much better job of educating our kids.
The discussion delved into budgetary priorities for primary care and community health centers.
Community health centers are the only place where you don't get the training dollars, the direct support for workforce training. We need to correct that.
So we have to find a way to reappropriate money. One of my biggest policies that I'm fighting for, and I'm going to say it again, is oversight. At the AUCHS Oversight Committee, we see all kinds of waste, fraud, and abuse.
The state needs to step up to invest in healthcare infrastructure because the closure of the hospitals, the closure of the birthing centers, the closure of primary care practices is indicative of a lack of basic funding.
Candidates were also asked about improving affordability for Maine people and families.
Whether that's housing, childcare, education, cost of living, or debt, all of these things make it that much more difficult to come to Maine.
The prescription drug coverage, I really do feel that the state has a real ability to go after that and go after Big Pharma, and I am going to do that as governor.
The next governor needs to redouble efforts to ensure that people are enrolled in Medicaid at a time in which Donald Trump is hoping that they will be pushed off.
The candidates all reached a consensus that Maine's next governor must address the state's escalating healthcare crisis. In Augusta, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 6:12. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, gas prices are continuing to climb. We'll have tips on how to make your next tank stretch a bit further.
But first, another check of that forecast. A mostly cloudy day ahead today with highs near 37 degrees. We could see a little snow tonight, lows dropping down to the low 20s. Tomorrow, maybe some rain and snow in the afternoon. The high on Friday, 44 degrees. We'll be right back.
I got hurt in a car accident. Why should I call the twos?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I don't take tiny checks. I get my clients big checks. We got a client who fractured their pelvis, a big check for $300,000. And another client broke multiple bones, and we got them a big check for $700,000.
Don't take a tiny check for your car wreck. Call the twos.
I'm your go-to guy.
From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
Every year, communities recognize outstanding service with the Spirit of America Foundation Tribute. Do you know a local person or group that goes above and beyond for others? Nominate them today by contacting a select person, city or town councilor. Help honor those who make a difference where you live. For more information, visit spiritofamerica.website.
A small group gathered in downtown Bangor yesterday to voice opposition to the war in Iran. The gathering took place on Hammond Street Bridge across from the Hannibal Hamlin Parkway. According to one organizer, those in attendance included members from Veterans for Peace Maine, the Peace and Justice Center of Eastern Maine, and people from the community.
It's okay to say you don't want to support another country, and it doesn't make you hate the people of that country. Right, and that's why people are out here all the time now. We've got protests and vigils all over the state going all the time, and these wars are literally killing us, but they are killing our economy. They're killing our standing in the world.
Wednesday's gathering was organized by the Peace and Justice Center of Eastern Maine.
Well, following this week's rain and windy weather, officials are keeping a close eye on streams and rivers for exactly what you see here. Take a look. Ice jams are a big concern, especially this week, as the rain flowed into rivers because the ground was too frozen to absorb it. The increased flow causes ice to shatter, move, and then jam up. This is the Pleasant River in Milo. We took a look for ourselves yesterday. It's important to keep an eye on conditions in your area and report any potential problems to local or state emergency personnel. There are currently reports of flooding in Maxfield caused by an ice jam on the Piscataquis River as well. And according to the Penobscot County Emergency Management Agency, the affected homes are on the North Howland Road and Pine Lane in Maxfield. Some homes are being evacuated and affected residents are being moved to the Howland Community Center. Crews are going door to door as well to check on people and to ask if they are able to evacuate as well.
Legislative Democrats shared an update on efforts to lower electric bills for middle and low-income households. LD 1949, an Energy Fairness Act, has been passed by both the House and the Senate and then was sent to the governor's desk. The bill comes as residents are struggling with rising energy costs, and according to the bill's sponsor, Senator Ann Carney, it will require the Maine Public Utilities Commission to develop an electricity affordability metric, analyze delivery rates, and consider the impact on affordability for residential customers.
It ensures that when rates are reviewed, policies are shaped, the PUC asks and also answers that important question, can Maine people afford this?
Representative Melanie Sachs of Freeport also outlined a bill that aims to put a temporary pause on data centers over 20 megawatts and bring together key stakeholders to respond to a rapidly evolving industry. The proposals are part of a broader effort by legislative Democrats to deliver cost relief for Maine families.
Well, with gasoline prices climbing sharply over the past month, drivers around the country are feeling the impact. While experts say it's unclear when prices may go down, our Alex Schley says there are steps you can take now to help your tank go a little bit further.
Whether you've just been driving around town or headed out on a road trip, drivers say these rising prices are hard to ignore.
I was avoiding coming to the pump just now.
According to AAA, the average price of gas in Maine is now over $3.60, a 15-cent increase in the past week and 60 cents higher than this time last year.
And with the prices these are, it's crazy.
AAA officials say there are a variety of factors contributing to the recent spike.
It's typical this time of year to see prices increase as we increase our travels, prepare for spring break, and with the warmer weather, people are on the roads more, so it's pretty typical to see the prices increase.
However, experts say it's not since 2022 have consumers seen gas prices jump this much. Drivers say it's putting pressure on their wallet.
Certainly slims the budgets on being able to do fun things and any sort of extracurricular time you get. When things get more expensive, it takes away from the fun you get to have.
While AAA says it's unclear how high prices will go. In the meantime, there are some things you can do to help make your tank go further.
Number one, slow down. There is a direct relation to how fast someone is going and the fuel efficiency of their vehicle. Also, make sure their tires are properly inflated. Tires that are underinflated are less fuel efficient.
AAA officials say planning your route efficiently when running errands can also help prevent burning unnecessary fuel. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time is now 6:19. After the break, ripple effects from the war in the Middle East are making groceries and other essentials more expensive.
We'll have that story. Plus, March is National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. We'll hear from a survivor as Good Morning Maine continues.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna.
Come in and visit AMHG Works, Bangor's #1 gift shop, located at 36 Springer Drive in the Rennie's Plaza. We have special gifts for you, your furry companion, and that special someone you are in need of a gift for. It's worth a trip in for unique American-made gifts. Here at AMHG Works, everything is American-made, and we are open 7 days a week for your convenience. American-made home goods. We look forward to seeing you.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna.
According to the American Cancer Society, colorectal cancer is the second most common cause of cancer death in men and women here in the U.S.
Our Doug Banks spoke with one recent survivor about his story and how early detection most likely saved his life.
Brett Baber has been an attorney here in Maine
for 40 years.
But the years to come were put in jeopardy by a discovery during a routine colonoscopy last year.
So I was expecting to hear I might have some polyps that were removed, and I did have some polyps, but he also told me that I had this colon tumor.
Less than a month later, that small tumor on his upper intestinal wall was surgically removed. He currently goes through periodic monitoring at a local cancer center, bypassing radiation and chemotherapy thanks to early detection.
Could you imagine if you maybe postponed that screening last year?
I might not be here right now. I literally might be dead.
Studies show when caught early, colorectal cancer has up to a 91% 5-year survival rate. When caught late, that number drops to 16%.
If you get into stage 3 or stage 4 cancer, meaning it's spread outside the intestinal wall, it becomes a major leading cause of cancer deaths. So if you catch it early, good results. If you don't catch it early, you can die from it.
March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and getting a screening earlier in life is becoming more encouraged. The standard age to get your first has moved to 45 years old.
Either a colonoscopy, a stool sample, or now they have a blood test, remarkably, that can detect cancer cells in your bloodstream.
Information on symptoms, screenings, and more can be found on our website, foxbangor.com.
The best test is the one that's done. If you bury your head in the sand, you could get a very bad outcome. So I implore you to get your test done.
In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
You've got to do those colonoscopies and other things.
Get the screenings.
It's not fun, trust me.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in the long run.
Very important.
Yeah.
Now let's get a full look at our weather forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
All righty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience the Quality Automotive difference. Reliable service and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment, 922-2043. Already, wave height's not too bad this morning at around 4 feet, so not too terrible out there, right? While farther off towards the east, again, at around 5 to even 7 feet. So compared to yesterday, a lot calmer out there. And in fact, on land, we're just waking up to some clouds, and we'll hold on to those clouds out there today. We'll be under a mostly cloudy sky, and we are seeing a little bit of returns on the radar. We don't have to worry about those. We will stay dry out there today. Notice some moisture over parts of New York State. And again, we are going to stay dry, some more moisture developing over Canada. We will be be watching for more returns coming in later on tonight. We will be under a mostly cloudy sky for us today. There is that moisture moving in as we head towards early Friday morning, clearing out throughout the day Friday with some sunshine, more clouds by the afternoon. A late chance for a little bit of precipitation, primarily as rain and snow through Friday afternoon and a Friday evening, getting out of here pretty quickly early Saturday morning as we hold on to the clouds. As with result of the snowfall, again, primarily further off towards the north, we're looking at around a couple inches there, while farther down toward the south, not a whole lot, around a ½ inch before we're all finished up. So not a whole lot of snow, but something that we'll need to monitor overall. But with results to today, again, upper 30s under a mostly cloudy sky, and that south wind at around 25 miles per hour. But later on tonight, we have low 20s, mostly cloudy, some snow showers, again, not a whole lot, and that south wind at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow afternoon, rain and snow chances, highs in the mid-40s, and that west wind at around 5 to even 10 miles per hour. Okay, as we check out your extended forecast, brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. So again, tonight we do have a chance for some snow, and then we catch a break, and then by Friday, another chance for rain and snow. Not a great way to welcome in spring, but then for your Saturday, we'll be under a mostly cloudy sky with highs in the mid-40s. More rain and snow for your Sunday with highs in the low 40s, and then mid-30s coming up for your Monday with a chance for snow.
The apples, they have to be
perfectly ripened and crisp, medium to large, naturally occurring blush undertone, and stem intact.
But did you
double check them? You bet.
Hannaford to go. Unmatched care and convenience.
Hello, beautiful.
Hannaford, all for good.
When the unexpected happens.
Really?
We'll get you running again. Uninterrupted. Together, we're United. United Ag and Turf, your local John Deere dealer.
Welcome to outdoor living. Welcome to Granville Stone and Hearth. Goodness knows we've been cooped up long enough. Make plans now to enjoy the outside of your home, too. Come to Granville and see, touch, and imagine what you can do in your backyard. Light a path, light a fire, grill a meal, sit a bit. It's all in stock. There's a staycation right outside your door with expert help from Granville, one of the largest outdoor living suppliers in Maine. Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. You probably know one. Your sister. Your buddy. The ones who always show up. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Right now, get over $7,300 total value on this 2026 Chevy Silverado. Plus, Costco Executive members can get a $12.50 members-only incentive.
Hannah's gonna be here in 20 minutes? I can't make anything in 20 minutes.
Time savers. Just sizzle, then serve.
Thank you.
Tasty meals and easy evenings. Hannaford, all for good.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
New attacks on oil and gas facilities in the Middle East raising major concern in the financial markets. Oil prices have spiked again, with crude hitting nearly $110 a barrel, and the Pentagon has reportedly asked the White House to request more money from Congress to fund the war. ABC's Patrick Reeville has more.
Overnight, a dramatic escalation in attacks on energy facilities in the Middle East, causing oil and gas prices to jump. Qatar reporting multiple fires at the world's largest liquefied natural gas terminal. The Qatari government saying Iranian missiles targeting the terminal. The new escalation triggered by Israel bombing the world's largest gas field in Iran, the South Pars gas field. Iran vowing to retaliate. Trump warning if that were to happen, the US will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field. Iran has also threatened energy sites in the UAE and Saudi Arabia. This explosion in the Saudi capital. The Washington Post reports the Pentagon has now requested another $200 billion for the war. U.S. Central Command says more than 7,800 targets have now been struck in Iran and 120 Iranian ships have been damaged or destroyed. National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard testified on Capitol Hill yesterday. She was asked whether Iran posed an immediate threat before the U.S. attacked.
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the president based on a volume of information
it is precisely
that he receives.
It is precisely your responsibility to determine what constitutes a threat to the United States.
The only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
No, you're evading a question because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House.
The Strait of Hormuz, of course, remains paralyzed, and the longer this war goes on, the greater the economic consequences, and there is no quick end in sight. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, Doha.
Well, meanwhile, a group of Palestinians on Thursday arrived at the Egyptian side of the Rafah crossing border to return to the Gaza Strip. Egypt's state-run news satellite television reported the crossing between Gaza and Egypt was scheduled to resume operations, allowing medical evacuations of patients from the Strip and the return of Palestinians who completed their treatment in Egypt during the war. The land crossing did reopen for limited movement and for people only. No cargo will be allowed through the crossing, with limited passenger traffic in either direction. The passing of residents through the crossing will be facilitated in coordination with Egypt, following prior security approval by Israel under the supervision of the EU.
Here at home, it's not just gas that's getting more expensive. Everything from fruits and vegetables to fertilizer is causing sticker shock. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
We've all heard gas prices are going up, but the ripple effects from the war in the Middle East are spreading far and wide.
It's a definite shock to the system. When one of your main products that you need goes up 47% in 2 weeks, it's hard to digest that.
Farmers are fuming over fertilizer. The Middle East is a major supplier, and now, because of reduced shipments, some farmers worry they could face an extra $100,000 in fertilizer costs this season.
I think you'll see some farmers switch some corn acres to bean acres, and I haven't pulled that trigger and decided to do that yet, but I'm sure thinking about it.
Gas prices are up 92 cents per gallon in the last month, but diesel rising even faster, up $1.33 per gallon, driving up transportation costs.
I'm not a truck driver, I'm a construction worker, but it all flows the same, right? So cost of diesel goes up, everything goes up.
That means higher prices at the grocery store, and new data shows wholesale prices were already rising before the war. For example, vegetable prices were up 48% last month compared to the same time last year. Vice President J.D. Vance says high prices stemming from the war are only a temporary blip, and he says the Trump administration is taking action.
We're working on a number of things. In fact, a couple of things that I think will be announced in just the next 24 to 48 hours. I don't want to get ahead of the president on that, but we recognize this is an issue.
Everything from airfare to Uber rides will be affected by these higher oil and gas prices. One analyst says if gas prices stay this high for 1 year, a typical household will spend an extra $1,100. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Coming up on the second half of the newscast, Bar Harbor is moving forward with a plan to discount parking fees for residents.
That sounds good.
It does.
We'll have the story coming up on Good Morning Maine.
With approximately 1 in 8 people using GLP-1 drugs, a lot has changed in how people go about losing weight, and that includes at the grocery store. This morning on GMA, the surprising GLP-1 effect that's actually changing grocery stores. This morning on Good Morning America.
Are you in need of remodeling your bathroom? Want to convert your tub into a safe walk-in shower? Call the experts at Bangor Bathrooms by Design now. They offer complete bathroom remodels, and from start to finish, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call them now and save thousands. 659-6457. Enjoy that brand new bathroom you've always wanted from Bangor Bathrooms by Design. Transforming bathrooms, elevating lives.
At the County Federal Credit Union, we value the trust our members place in us to act in their best interest. Whether it's providing low rates on consumer loans or raising money to end hunger, we work hard to serve our members and the communities in which they live. We are excited to bring the meaningful and impactful work we do to all Mainers as we continue to grow. Wherever you are in life's journey, count on the county to be your financial partner.
Diabetes isn't a death sentence, but it is absolutely a life sentence, and you have to figure out how you're going to keep your kid alive. So when you find somebody from the government that's on your side, and it happens to be Susan Collins at the same time, that was just magnificent. After the meeting in Portland for my wife and son, my wife came back. She was 10 feet tall. She'd felt seen, she felt heard, and she felt like we had a powerful advocate on our side. No, it was a big step towards healing.
Thank you, Senator Collins.
Please continue delivering for T1 families.
All across America.
Good morning.
Good morning. Wherever we are, it feels like home.
Man, it's good to be home.
GMA, it's an invitation to come together and brighten your morning.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026, and it's also International Read to Me Day.
This is a day that's focused on the importance of reading to children. Whether it's for 10 minutes or an hour, reading to kids can help develop their imagination, their knowledge, and their ability to read before they even are ready to join school. Reading to children can also inspire a love for reading that they'll enjoy throughout their lives.
It's also a great bonding thing, too.
It
Some of
is.
my best memories were reading to my kids when they were little.
Yeah, it's fun, too. Depending on the book and the kid is super into it, it can be a fun activity.
Yeah. So read a book to a child today. All right, time for some history. It was on this date back in 1918, the U.S. Congress approved daylight saving time. In 1931, Nevada legalized gambling in an effort to lift the state out of the Great Depression. In 1953, on this date, the 25th Academy Awards ceremony was first televised. A film called The Greatest Show on Earth would win the Oscar for Best Picture that year. And in 1957, on this date, Elvis Presley put down a down payment on Graceland. He made a $1,000 deposit toward the $102,000 price tag. Elvis needed a larger home base for his growing entourage and also lived there with his family as well. Pretty good price for that, $100,000.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
And in 1990, the first World Hockey Tournament for women was held in Ottawa. And in 1994, the world's largest omelet was cooked in Japan using 160,000 eggs.
That's a lot of eggs.
That is. Yeah. And in 1995, basketball great Michael Jordan returned to play for the Chicago Bulls 17 months after announcing his retirement. He would go on to win 3 more NBA championships. And lastly, in 2003, during a televised address, President George W. Bush announced coalition forces had begun a war with Iraq. He claimed Iraq had developed weapons of mass destruction, although none were ever found. Bush would declare victory just over 5 weeks later with his mission accomplished speech.
All right, for birthdays today, they include actor Bruce Willis, who is 71 years old today. NFL coach Andy Reid is 68. And actress Glenn Close is 79 years old today. Happy birthday to you also, if your birthday is today.
We'll turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Thursday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience a Quality Automotive difference. Reliable service and expert care that you can depend on. Calls to schedule your next appointment, 922-2043. Alrighty, here we go. We have some clouds that are passing through this morning. Otherwise, looking pretty quiet. It's going to be a quiet day for us, but we will be watching for more snow that will be on the way for us coming up later on tonight. As we do zoom things out, not a whole lot going on, a little bit of snow developing further off towards the west. Our next wave of energy will be further off towards the north and west. So as we check out Futurecast, we will have clouds developing. Futurecast trying to show a little bit of snow, but we will be under a mostly cloudy sky for us today. And there's that next wave of energy further off towards the north north and west that will be passing through for us later on tonight, clearing out as we head towards your Friday. As for the wind, we'll have some gusty winds up to around 25 miles per hour, and that will be backing off later on tonight, but picking up again as we head towards your Friday, backing off for a little bit during the afternoon. The hourly forecast moving forward. Again, some clouds out there with temperatures warming into the 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
Thank you, Devin. Still to come here this morning, Jack Webb with sports.
Don't go away.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Bring your new kitchen to life with help from the Kitchen, Bath, and Flooring Division by Hammond Lumber Company. Bring in your ideas or get inspired by Hammond's extensive showroom displays. Your Hammond sales rep will help you create a materials list and cost estimate, and Hammond's designers will help you visualize your space before the work begins. And Hammond delivers from 34 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Your new kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Little Miss Davis Sweets and Treats, a home-based business that specializes in homemade baked goods. Everything I bake is made to order. I specialize in baking homemade fudge, brownies, cupcakes, giant cookies, and large gingerbread men.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb, named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. March Madness kicks off this week, and Armac Sturm went over to Husson University to pick the brains of students and coaches before the tournament begins.
Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
This is March Madness. The tournament serves as one of the most exciting times in sports every year, and it seems to pull every kind of sports fan together.
It's just a really emotional time, I think, when you watch the games. You know, for some players, it's the last time that they're going to play their basketball career. Others will go on.
It builds a community. Like, everybody's doing it. No matter if you watch one team or you watch every game and you have split screens and research and you bet. Everybody comes together.
Some of the year's best sports moments are born during March Madness, and many of them go on to be remembered for years.
I really loved the Gonzaga and UCLA run. That was the Final Four, I think, in 2021, where Jalen Suggs hit the buzzer beater in overtime.
I remember when Notre Dame, was playing UConn, and Enrique Agumbawali, hit a three sort of down the stretch, and Notre Dame won that.
One of the components that makes March Madness so fun is filling out a bracket with the hopes of predicting the national champion. Some do hours of research to create the perfect bracket, and others completely wing it.
I always make a real one first that is based off of research and what I like to call ball knowledge.
If there's a team that I've just liked following because it's the coach, or I just have enjoyed watching the team play, even if they're the lower ranked, I will pick them just because I want to see, how far they'll go.
Upsets are another exciting part of the tournament, and this year, 2 Husson students agree fans should be on the lookout for one team in particular to make a run.
I think one team people got to watch out for, sneaky Hawaii.
I had them ended up beating Arizona down there. So Hawaii's going to be my team to kind of go through.
So who will be crowned the national champion this season?
This has been a tough debate for me because there's so many great teams, but I'm leaning Michigan.
I think Michigan can do it, and the whole stat that's like there's no national champion on the west side of the country since 1998. I kind of played a factor into it.
And on the women's side, there seems to be one favorite that the rest of the bracket will look to chase.
Yeah, I don't see anybody touching the Yukon women.
The madness kicks off on Wednesday night in Bangor. Max Sturm, ABC 7 and Fox 22 Sports.
Thanks for that, Max. I got the Blue Devils taking it all home. Well, the World Baseball Classic wrapped up on Tuesday night, and it finished in disappointment for the United States and their fans. Venezuela beat the U.S. 3-2 after allowing just 3 hits to a star-studded American lineup. Red Sox outfielder Wilyer Abreu launched a home run in the top of the 5th to make it 2-0, and that score would hold until Bryce Harper hit a 2-run blast to tie things up. However, that iconic moment was robbed of its significance when Venezuela won in the 9th. United States manager Mark DeRosa was asked if he and other players would want to participate again. Here was his very clear answer.
If you saw how hurting the guys were in that locker room right now, you'd know why. I mean, for some reason, this WBC has become a tidal wave of emotion for a lot of guys. You get them in the room representing their country, coming together for 2.5 weeks. The buy-in, it's infectious in there. So, yeah, special group to be a part of. Proud of the way we represented USA.
I'm not sure baseball's ever had as much momentum as it does right now. To the ice we go. With Maine men's hockey season over, players are free to sign pro contracts. And with all the recent injuries to the blue line, the Mariners have signed former University of Maine defenseman Brandon Chabrier to a contract. He's a 6-foot, 180-pound blue liner who played in 31 games with the Black Bears this season. Brendan drove from Orono to Portland. He hopped on a bus with his new team in Adirondack. Although he's disappointed with how the Black Bears season ended last Friday. Brendan is looking forward to the new challenge ahead.
Yeah, it was a quick couple days, and then, you get calls from different teams, and luckily I got a call from Maine, and it was honestly a no-brainer for me. 2 hours down the road, I get to still have all my buddies up in Orono. They can come visit me, and being close to school, just trying to finish out my degree is definitely important to me to graduate. So for me, obviously, it was a no-brainer, and I'm excited to be here.
Great to see a Black Bear staying in state. For now, that's all the time we have for sports. Right back up.
Got old metal and junk cars? Turn that clutter into cash at Daddy and Daughters. We make recycling easy, fast, and fair. From Skowhegan to Dover Foxcroft, from Troy to Lee, you can trust our certified scales and friendly service, offering top prices for junk vehicles in Maine. Whether you drop off or we pick up, Daddy and Daughters covers Central and Eastern Maine. Come see us at one of our 4 locations and watch your scrap pay off. Daddy and Daughters turn scrap into cash.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
It's time to take on spring projects, and Ford has the right vehicles for the job, any job, because Ford has designed them to handle anything you can throw at them. No wonder Ford is #1 in commercial vehicles for 40 consecutive years. So come on, New England, let's get to work with the hardest working vehicles around. Right now, get 0% APR for 60 months and up to $2,000 cash back on 2025 Super Duty and Transit, only from your New England Ford dealers.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Bar Harbor is moving forward with a plan to discount parking fees for residents. Downtown businesses say it's a great opportunity to keep locals around throughout the tourist season.
Our Alexa Kennedy has more.
The Bar Harbor Town Council approved the purchase of new parking kiosks Tuesday to enhance the town's parking system's functionality, specifically for residents. Parking is a constant conversation in Bar Harbor, especially during the busy summer months near Acadia National Park. Residents have long raised the question of parking fees for tourists versus residents. The council hopes to address these complaints, saying that authorizing the new kiosks was necessary to move forward.
It's an exciting opportunity for our locals who oftentimes will say things like, oh, I can't get to my favorite restaurant because there's no parking. It's great to see our council make opportunities for our residents to be able to enjoy those things year round.
Town Council Chair Val Peacock says the older kiosks currently in use can't support discounted rates. The new system would potentially make parking more accessible for locals, including those who live outside the downtown area or have difficulty walking long distances.
I would totally be for it. As a resident myself, if there was a discount for local people, I feel like it would absolutely help them to come downtown a little bit more.
Peacock says there's currently money in the town's CIP to fund the system's upgrades.
We have been hearing a lot over the years about parking fees for residents versus tourists. It's very exciting to be talking about creating a system where we might be able to address that.
The town is expected to continue testing the new kiosk system, with full implementation potentially coming later this year. In Bar Harbor, Alexa Kennedy, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Good news for locals.
Definitely. Yeah. Now here's meteorologist Devin Biggs with our full weather forecast.
All righty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience the Quality Automotive difference. Reliable service and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment, 922-2043. Arnie, wave height's not too bad this morning at around 4 feet, so not too terrible out there, right? While farther off towards the east, again, at around 5 to even 7 feet. So compared to yesterday, a lot calmer out there. And in fact, on land, we're just waking up to some clouds, and we'll hold on to those clouds out there today. We'll be under a mostly cloudy sky, and we are seeing a little bit of returns on the radar. We don't have to worry about those. We will stay dry out there today. Notice some moisture over parts of New York State. And again, we are going to stay dry, some more moisture developing over Canada. We will be watching for more returns coming in later on tonight. We will be under a mostly cloudy sky for us today. There is that moisture moving in as we head towards early Friday morning, clearing out throughout the day Friday with some sunshine, more clouds by the afternoon. A late chance for a little bit of precipitation, primarily as rain and snow through Friday afternoon and a Friday evening, getting out of here pretty quickly early Saturday morning as we hold on to the clouds. As with result of the snowfall, again, primarily further off towards the north, we're looking at around a couple inches there, while farther down toward the south, not a whole lot, around a ½ inch before we're all finished up. So not a whole lot of snow, but something that we'll need to monitor overall. But with results to today, again, upper 30s under a mostly cloudy sky, and that south wind at around 25 miles per hour. But later on tonight, we have low 20s, mostly cloudy, some snow showers, again, not a whole lot, and that south wind at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow afternoon, rain and snow chances, highs in the mid-40s, and that west wind at around 5 to even 10 miles per hour. Okay, as we check out your extended forecast, brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. So again, tonight we do have a chance for some snow, and then we catch a break, and then by Friday, another chance for rain and snow. Not a great way to welcome in spring, but then for your Saturday, we'll be under a mostly cloudy sky with highs in the mid-40s. More rain and snow for your Sunday with highs in the low 40s, and then mid-30s coming up for your Monday with a chance for snow.
Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. You probably know one. Your sister. Your buddy. The ones who always show up. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Right now, get over $7,300 total value on this 2026 Chevy Silverado. Plus, Costco Executive members can get a $12.50 members-only incentive.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Unwind with a massage. Let me take away the stress of everyday life and allow you to fully relax. I offer Swedish, deep tissue, and prenatal massage. Healing Strength Massage in Bangor is your place for relaxing therapeutic massage.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Come in and visit AMHG Works, Bangor's #1 gift shop, located at 36 Springer Drive in the Rennie's Plaza. We have special gifts for you, your furry companion, and that special someone you are in need of a gift for. It's worth a trip in for unique American-made gifts. Here at AMHG Works, everything is American-made, and we are open 7 days a week for your convenience. American-made home goods. We look forward to seeing you.
As a bachelorette, I clearly don't fit into the mold. I am not only looking for someone for myself, but for 3 little kids.
I want to be a father. I want to do all these things.
Let's go.
Love is in the air.
We've got married couples playing all this week.
And there's more to look forward to.
Mystery 10K, vacations, cash. Love is in the air.
Weekdays at 7 on ABC 7.
Two NASA astronauts, including one from Maine, embarked on a spacewalk yesterday. Astronaut Chris Williams and Maine's own Jessica Meir ventured outside the International Space Station to upgrade the orbiting lab's power generation system. Here it looks like they are simply trying to attach a part, but as you can see, even small tasks aren't so easy up in space.
Ready to receive the side pad.
Copy, there you are.
See the arrow is up.
Okay, Jessica, there's a warning I need to read to you that there's a pinch point between the side pad and the mask canister.
Copy.
And for you, and my red is locked out. Thank you.
This was Meir's 4th spacewalk and the first time for Williams.
A grenade on the beach. It happened in the San Francisco Bay Area on Tuesday afternoon. Multiple law enforcement agencies responded to a report of a grenade on beach in Pacifica along Highway 1 near a Taco Bell cantina. Officers roped off the area and used a drone to determine the grenade was inert. The San Mateo County Bomb Squad took the grenade for disposal there.
That's the second time this week we've had a grenade in the news.
Yes.
One in Maine this week, too.
Yep.
And a mischievous marsupial recently found itself in an unusual setting in the land down under. An Australian bush-tailed possum was spotted hanging out at an airport gift shop in Australia on Wednesday. A customer first saw the animal perched on a shelf with kangaroo stuffed toys at the Hobart Airport in Tasmania State. Video taken from a staff member shows the possum's head curiously poking out and observing its surroundings. The furry friend then reportedly grew skittish and left the shop. Airport staff says they were able to remove the possum from the airport unharmed, and it is unclear how it got into the store and how long it spent there as well.
Well, I guess it knew to go right to where the other animals were.
Kind of fit right in with all the stuffed animals.
It's too funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time that we have left for this hour, but you can join us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's next on Fox 22.
Later on this morning, we'll meet our pet of the week as well. So hope you have a great day.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts.
It's once a year. A check for me. 'Cause I'm a millionaire. A brand new game. Millionaire for life. A $5 ticket was the winning prize. You love the odds. It's so easy to play. A chance to win every single day. Today's the day. Let's celebrate.
$1 million every year for the rest of my life, and maybe yours too.
What matters more? A bank with innovative products or one that cares for the community? At Bangor Savings Bank, we think it's both because our innovation helps customers build stronger credit, earn rewards when shopping local, Give teens independence and financial experience, and simplify business with local solutions. So what matters more? You.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
I know that you're sitting right in front of me, but can I say hi to Douglas?
Obviously.
Hey, gorgeous. Hi, Douglas.
Douglas is making this interview super fun.
When I rescued him, he was 8 weeks old.
I'm being licked right now.
Dougie's really the star.
Where does the dog go after the show?
My house.
Weekdays at 11 on Fox 22.
Good Morning Maine on WFVX, Fox 22. Great news to the Rockmount Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, a tragic ending this week in the search for a missing teenager from Orono. We'll have that story coming up.
Plus, a group of candidates vying to be Maine's next governor held a forum to discuss the future of Maine's healthcare system.
And ice jams continue to be a concern this week, especially for residents in the Maxfield area. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us. We'll have those stories and more coming up. First, a little breaking news. We're just learning about it. There's apparently a structure fire in the town of Wynne overnight. Fire crews are still on the scene there. There was reports early on that there was somebody who might have been trapped inside that building as well.
Scary.
Nothing has been confirmed at this point, but as soon as we know more, we'll pass it on to you. We're going to kick things off, though, with a check of the forecast.